All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So hopefully you can hear me and you can see my slides. If not, go ahead and put something in the chat and let me know. But we're going to get started today with our webinar for the Master of Science in Translational Pharmaceutical Science program. All right, and just a quick intro. So my name's Tana Mangash. I am the program director for the MS in Translational Pharmaceutical Science program. So I'm going to call it the MSTPS program moving forward. And I'm also an assistant professor in the Department of Pharmacology in the School of Medicine at Case Western Reserve University. So, just a little bit about me. So, I'm also a pharmacist, which is one of the main reasons why I'm really excited to share this program with you, because it really is all about taking the basic science and eventually using that to change patient lives and outcomes. Another fact, I actually did my PhD in the pharmacology department at Case Western, where this master's program is housed. So I can really answer any questions about being a student in the department. Also, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, where Case Western is located. So I can also answer any questions you have about Cleveland and the perks of living there. Um, so keep this in mind as we're going forward, and feel free to place any questions you might have in the Q&A section. I am running solo, so I'll try my best to sort of monitor that, but we'll have some time for questions at the end as well. And we're going to start off with our agenda. Give me 1 second to get my laser pointer. There we go. All right. So just quick overview. So I already introduced myself. We'll do a general program overview. We'll talk a little bit about student experience, and then we'll talk about more like dates and timelines, and some key resources we have to share with you. So, Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine is rated #1 university in Ohio, and I believe it is still 16th in the nation for best graduate schools for medical research, which really showcases Case Western Reserve University as being recognized for its contributions to innovation and sort of cutting edge research programs found at our university. Now, what these numbers do not highlight is that Case Western Reserve University is unique in that it has a school of medicine, a school of law, school of engineering, and a business management school, which will be really important when we dive into the program details. And even within the School of Medicine, we have a wide variety of master's and PhD students from different programs that all sort of take classes together. They serve in student organizations together, they work in labs together. So, this is truly a diverse interdisciplinary environment where students come together regardless of program or department. So, now this makes Case Western and the School of Medicine unique, but what about the master's program? So the master's program is unique. So I specifically designed it to prepare students that are interested in pharmaceutical industry careers or careers in different settings that are still sort of in that drug discovery focused, like research labs at a university like Case, for example. Okay, so this program will ensure that students are well equipped for these pharmaceutical industry careers, which is really expanding significantly, which I'm showing you here with this graph. And these are projected to keep expanding over the next 10 years in a variety of areas, ranging from science to healthcare to sales to management, all of these different areas. So, now what do students preparing for the pharmaceutical industry or drug discovery world need to know in order to be successful? So, to ensure our program design aligns with what future employers are looking for in their new graduates, we worked with some of the prospective employers in the surrounding area and some that are outside of Cleveland to come up with this particular master's program. So, there are sort of three themes in the master's program that are sort of the pillars, which are crucial for success in the pharmaceutical industry. So, first, you will need to understand the translational cycle, or what steps are required to sort of move a scientific discovery from the laboratory bench through the drug discovery and development process to eventually reach the bedside of patients to improve patient care. And this is what I mean when I say sort of the bench to bedside approach. The next thing you'll need is you will need advanced professional skills because these skills are essentially making sure you can communicate your scientific discoveries to others in your team to ensure that this translational cycle up here actually occurs and that discovery can actually reach your patient. And then lastly, you will need to have some sort of interdisciplinary training so that you understand all the different facets of the pharmaceutical industry that are needed in order for that bench to bedside transition to occur, like being able to talk to the patent lawyers, the marketing director, the statisticians, the scientists, the healthcare professionals, etc. So as we go through the program components and requirements, you'll sort of see these three themes throughout the slides. So now that we have some background and the purpose of our master's program, let's do sort of a general program overview. Okay, so the program can be broken down into four different components. So the first is going to be your core coursework, and that's going to primarily focus on your bench to bedside trajectory. Then you're going to have your elective coursework, which offers a variety of opportunities for interdisciplinary training. You're also going to have professional skill development workshops to cultivate those specific skills. And then lastly, you'll participate in an experiential learning opportunity. So you have a chance to actually apply everything you learned in the real world and gain some valuable experience that's going to set you apart from others in the job market. Okay, so now we're going to dive into some of the details for each of these four components moving forward. So first, we're going to focus on our core coursework. Okay, so remember, this is going to provide your in-depth knowledge of bench to bedside translational cycle. Okay, so you're going to start by learning about how drugs affect the body and how the body affects drugs in our Principles of Pharmacology course. I teach that course, so you will see me there. This is going to provide some of the basic science foundation behind how drugs work and how they're designed. Next, you will take the Approaches to Drug Discovery course, and this is taught by research scientists across the School of Medicine. And these are going to be individuals that specialize in drug discovery and development research. And then next is going to be a course that helps you understand sort of preclinical and clinical drug trials and how they're designed in order to test new discoveries. And then lastly, there will be a journal club course where the entire pharmacology department comes together to discuss cutting edge pharmaceutical research that was recently published. And this journal club is a great opportunity for students and faculty to discuss research findings together and how those findings are going to impact the future of the drug discovery world. All right, so to complement those core courses, we have a wide variety of elective courses so that you can really learn about other disciplines of that translational cycle that are crucial for the pharmaceutical industry. And this is where the schools of law, engineering, and management come in because we offer a variety of courses from these schools, as well as many within the School of Medicine, so that you have plenty of options that hopefully align with your career aspirations and interests. Okay. And these courses can be divided up into three categories. So we have our pharmacology and drug discovery electives. These are going to be more basic science, engineering, or clinically focused. Then we have our pharmaceutical business and law category, which is fairly straightforward. It's going to include, for instance, my FDA regulation course, which covers how drugs and devices are approved. And then the last category is biostats and bioinformatics, which includes a number of courses offered in the School of Medicine that ensure students understand sort of big data in science, which has been a hot topic for several years now. And for the MSTPS program students, you can take a general approach, taking a combination of electives from any of these three categories. And we want you to be able to design your program of study to align with your interests and your career goals. So the next component is going to be our professional skills development. And this is really essential when you enter the pharmaceutical industry because you must be able to manage and communicate your drug discovery projects. And to help cultivate these skills, all of our master students will participate in a leadership and professional development skills course for biomedical science. A variety of master's and PhD students from different programs take this course together. And then also students in this master's program have access to all the resources offered by the Graduate Education Office in the School of Medicine. And they offer a lot of different professional development workshops, opportunities, career counseling, alumni networking opportunities, as well as many other resources that are going to help you be set up for success. And now the last program component we're going to discuss is going to be your experiential learning requirement for this program. And this is the culminating or final experience for this master's program. And that's going to allow you to practice applying your knowledge and skills in a real world drug discovery setting. So now this experiential learning can be in the form of 3 to 6 credit hours of either a research experience or an internship experience, or in special cases, you can do a combination of both. And the research experience is going to involve working on a research project in the lab of one of the professors in the Department of Pharmacology. And the research expertise in pharmacology falls into four main areas. That's going to be cancer biology and therapeutics, visual sciences, metabolic regulation and signaling, and lastly, structural biology and using that for therapeutic applications. But if you choose to do a research experience, but your research interests do not necessarily align with any of these areas, you can reach out to faculty members across the School of Medicine that work in the area you're interested in. And if they're willing, those faculty can be approved as trainers for this program. And there will be many options to fit your needs and interests. As an alternative, you can do a culminating or final experience that's an internship. And this is most closely going to mimic working in the pharmaceutical industry because this option involves working on a project as an intern at a pharmaceutical or biotechnology company. So the master's program works with a program called Enrich, that stands for Enhancing Research and Industry Career Horizons. And this is a program within the School of Medicine to place our students in internships with our Enrich program partners, a number of which are listed here. And a lot of these actually have Case Western alumni to serve as the mentors. Like Aviona is very common, as well as Trailhead Biosystems, which is not listed on this list. But many of these program partners are in the Cleveland area, but there are also some non-local options, and there's always an option to establish a new program partner in a location of interest to you. So master's students that choose this option will complete 3 to 6 credits at their internship. But once these credits are fulfilled, there's an opportunity for you to continue that experience as a paid internship with the company while completing the remaining master's program requirements. And remember, there's the option to do a combination of 3 credits of research experience, 3 credits of an internship. The only requirement is that those 2 experiences have to happen in different semesters. So now up until this point, we've really discussed the general approach you can take when it comes to designing your program of study. But the master's program also offers 3 track options that students can select from. But again, track selection is not required because we want you to have that flexibility. So if you think you'd like to pursue a track option, the options are pharmacology and drug discovery, pharmaceutical business and law, and biostats and bioinformatics. So just like how the electives were categorized that we talked about before. So once you select a track, the main difference is that 12 of your elective credits that are required, of those 12, 9 credits must be in elective courses that fall under the track designation. Okay, so for instance, if you're doing the pharmacology and drug discovery track, you'll do 9 credit hours of electives under that track, and then your other 3 can be from the other areas. The other requirement is that your research or internship experiences must be related to the track that you have selected. So again, lots of options to tailor your training in the master's program to your interests and career goals. So now that was the overview of the program curriculum, and the program requirements are provided here in a more detailed version. But just to rehash, so this is a 30 credit hour program. You have 12 core credit hours, 12 elective credit hours, and then 6 credit hours of research and or internship experience. If you opt for a track, then as we discussed, most of your electives and research or internship experiences has to be related to that track you select. But again, you do not have to select a track and you can take a more general approach. So this program is a non-thesis or a Plan B master's program. So instead of a thesis, what you will do is you're actually going to write a scientific review article. And this is going to be related to your research or internship experience. And this can be submitted for publication, which is a great opportunity to showcase your written communication on your resume or your CV. And then the other component for graduation is you will present your research or internship experience as either a poster or oral presentation to the Department of Pharmacology or at an even sort of bigger conference or venue, whatever you choose to do. But there are lots of different opportunities for students to sort of present and get some feedback on their oral presentation skills as well. So now that we've gone over the program requirements, let's take a look at a few examples of programs of study and what your program timeline might look like. So here is an example of what a track approach to the master's program might look like, broken down by semester. So this is an example of the biostats and bioinformatics track specifically. And here you can see that the core courses are all sort of shifted into this first year. And basically, we have our principles of pharmacology, our drug discovery, our clinical trials, our journal club, and that professional skills development. Okay, you're also going to complete 9 electives related to your track within this first year. Most of those are going to happen within your spring of year one. And once you have sort of completed all of your core courses, with the exception of that last semester of journal club, which I'm showing over here, that is when you can actually do your research or internship experience. So here I'm actually showing a shift of that research and internship experience to that summer of year one. And then you can finish up all of your course requirements by the end of fall year two. So essentially graduate in 1.5 years instead of two. But if you'd rather do the full 2 years for your specific situation, then what would essentially happen is your research or internship experience that I have in summer of year one here would move to spring of year two, and you could also spread out your electives a little bit more. So again, there's lots of flexibility and the ability to tailor your coursework and experience to what fits your needs. So now we've gone over the program components. So we're going to revisit some of the key benefits of this program being housed in the pharmacology department and School of Medicine. So as I alluded to earlier, I graduated from the Department of Pharmacology and can attest to it being a very tight network of faculty, staff, and students that are all working sort of toward this common goal of moving the pharmaceutical industry forward to improve patient care. And in the department, you'll frequently work with faculty beyond myself that are established researchers, teachers, and mentors that will be happy to help you on your road to success in the pharmaceutical industry. And additionally, you're going to work really closely with pharmacology PhD students in classes and student organizations and research labs. So you have those sort of peer mentoring relationships and friendships. And then this can also extend to graduate students from other programs because most of the research labs in pharmacology do attract students from other programs as well. So the environment in the department and School of Medicine as a whole will ensure that you have the professional skills and interdisciplinary skills, but also make sure you have an established mentoring network that can help you during and after your training in this program. So now this presentation has showcased why Case Western and why this MSTPS program and why Cleveland. So now let's discuss what the next steps are for you if you have career goals related to drug discovery and the pharmaceutical industry and think the master's program is a great fit for you. So the application for the MSTPS program can be started by going to this website here, so applygrad.case.edu/apply. And in order to complete the application, you will need transcripts for each institution you have attended. You're also going to need an updated resume or CV, making sure to highlight any research experience you may have. Research experience is not required, but it is highly encouraged. You're also going to need contact information for individuals who can provide a letter of recommendation on your behalf. And you will need that from 3 individuals. So this should generally be advisors, mentors, or teachers. And then the last component of your application is going to be a one-page personal statement that explains why the MSTPS program is right for you. What are your career aspirations and how will this program help you get there? And what experiences have you had that make you well suited for this program? Please be mindful of the page limit and the prompts for that personal statement. And then for the MSTPS program, the GRE or other standardized test scores are not required and they are just purely optional to provide. And then for international applicants, you will have to upload an English proficiency exam test taker results. And the requirements for this are outlined by the School of Graduate Studies, which I'll provide a link for on a future slide. So now that we have the application requirements, what about the timeline? So our program allows students to self-select which round you wish to submit your application and receive your admission decision by. So the sooner the application is submitted with all of the necessary materials finalized, the sooner admission decision will be communicated to you. Okay, so for instance, if you, let me see, hold on one second. I believe we actually only have the final deadline left. So basically, you would submit by August 1st, and then you would receive a decision by August 15th. Because there is only the final deadline that remains, I will probably be reviewing application as they come in. So still, I would recommend getting your applications in as soon as possible. And ideally, I will have a decision to you within 2 weeks after you get your full application in. That's going to be sort of my goal moving forward since we only have that final deadline left. Okay. But all decisions will be made by August 15th. And then lastly, I just want to provide you with a list of resources that are going to help you gather more information so that you can determine if Case Western and the MSTPS program is right for you. We will have these emailed out to you so that you have all these links. But the first website is just going to be the program website that outlines much of what we talked about in this webinar. The next is going to be the Department of Pharmacology website, which provides information on faculty and students in the department and more details about the research being conducted. Next is going to be the Enrich program. This is who we work with to ensure you have an internship, if that is what you decide to do. The next is going to be the Graduate Education Office, and that's that office that provides professional development opportunities and resources for our master's students. And then the next two links are information for the School of Graduate Studies, requirements for admissions, and it also specifically outlines international applicant information. And then lastly, here is the link so you can start your application and move one step closer to joining us in the fall. And hopefully this webinar has provided you with some key info about the program, about Case and Cleveland. But if you have any further questions, we can take those now. Or if you think of some after the webinar is over, you can email mstps@case.edu. And either myself or our graduate student coordinator, Abe Desir, will respond as soon as we can. And then lastly, I just want to thank you all for attending the webinar and your interest in our program, and happy to take any questions you all have. If you guys have any questions. Can MD/DO students enroll in this program for their dual education? We might need to talk a little bit more offline. We've not had any students do this. I envision it may be a little difficult, based on what your class schedule is going to look like. So maybe shoot me an email so I can learn more and we can discuss that one a little bit more offline. Other questions? Great. Well, seeing no other questions come in, I will hang out until 2:30, in case you either of you have other questions you want to discuss. Um, and yeah. Or you can send me an email if you think of other additional questions. But if you guys don't have questions at this time, I really appreciate you guys coming, and I look forward to seeing your applications.